Scott, thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, I do have to say it's a pleasure to be able to be here. Now, I know that you've been to enough conferences, and every speaker that gets up always says it's a pleasure to be here. But you have to understand the position that I'm in at this moment in time, which is the keynote, last speaker, is a very precarious situation to be in. There's a certain expectation by Scott to keep people around. But what they do is they have lunch beforehand, and then they change rooms, which is allow you to escape. And so for you who've shown up and have stayed, I do appreciate it. And so that's why I say it's a privilege to be able to be here and to speak to you this afternoon. I guess I get you for the next hour or so, and after my presentation, given time and an inclination on your part, I will take some questions, because I know one thing, that over the years I've never had the opportunity to answer all the questions in the presentation form, and so some may arise that you may want to ask, and so we'll do that, and we'll see what happens. But one of the things that I've come to realize, or at least in my life, is that more than half of my life has been involved in the world of sports, football specifically. And I've come to learn that even though it's been a part of my life, a passion of my life, consumed a lot of my time, is that I do share this world with some people who could care less about what is happening in the world of football and playoffs and Super Bowls and drafts that are coming up. And some of those people may be sitting right out here this afternoon. But whether or not, and here's my point, whether or not we like the game of football, whether or not we're involved in the game of football, you do have to admit on some level that has become part of the fabric of our lives. Whether it be now postseason, pre-draft, whether it goes into training camp, preseason, season, playoffs, postseason, on the way to the Super Bowl, football is on our televisions 24 hours a day. It's in our newspapers. It's on talk shows. We have played the game. Family has played the game. Friends have played the game. Our kids have played the game. It's a topic of conversation within our households and within our work environment. And football, to me, is much like life. Why? Well, if you think about it, there's a beginning, there's a middle, there's an end, and depending on how your team has prevailed, there's a mourning period, and then there's a renewal, and we start all over. And that sequence, if you think about it, repeats itself week after week after week. And it creates one thing, the world of football, much like life. It creates one word, and that one word is hope. God, I hope they can turn it around next week, or I hope they can get back on track, or I hope they get the right players this off season, or I hope we get the right coach, or I hope we get some ingredient to be able to get us into the playoffs. God, I hope they can just win. I hope they can...